I'm going to be showing you a pretty cool tool today. So this is ExtraHop's, it looks like RevealX tool. I use this in the capture the flag. It's still available. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to actually walk through the capture the flag that we got here. We got exercises that I'm going to walk you through exactly how I solve these. And also just remember, like, you know that at this point, you've got to have hands-on experience. This is a tool that is used by companies. This is not an open source free tool. This is not theory. This is an actual tool. So this is something that you definitely want to take an opportunity to learn how we do threat hunting on the job, how we do investigations, incident response. All we're going to have components of that. So to start off, let's go ahead and take a look. So we're going to start off with the interface. So to get used to it. And so the first thing they want you to do is they want you to find the crown indicator. So it's going to tell you, what does the crown next to some of the devices mean? Some of the devices mean. So to navigate this, at the very top, if you notice, we got a menu here. So I'm going to go to assets, because a lot of times in tech, you call things assets, right? So we can start here and under here, oh, I got active devices. I got new devices. So I'm going to go to active devices. Now, the thing is, I'm just going to scroll, because the easiest way to find this is to scroll right here. And well, that's not the easiest way, but when I was doing the exercise the first time, this is something I realized I just need to scroll and I can find it. So there's the crown, and you can see the crown is a high value device. And so what happens here, and I want y'all to start doing CTFs too. These really help to get you exposure. So I'm going to do a video showing you how to get signed up for the CTFs, because the thing is, you have to have a business email address. You can't use a Gmail address if you're doing some of these events with companies that actually, like other real companies we use in cybersecurity, not just like some, cyber range type of things, but like if one of these companies like Tenable, SentinelOne, CrowdStrike are doing it, you need a business email address. So we'll talk about that in future videos. But you will put that answer here. So where it says high value device, you simply would type high value device here and you solve that question. So pretty easy, right? Because I want y'all to know how easy it is to do capture the flag exercises. You don't get them all. You see, I've been in the industry for 20 plus years, right? I get them all. But the thing is, you want to do this because you get better each time. So when I go to users, it says how many users have detections associated with them. So this is where it gets really interesting, because this product does have AI built into it. See the AI search assistant. So we can say how many, like here's the question, how many users have detections associated with them? What if we just literally take this and we drop this into the AI? And let's see if the AI can actually tell us what the answer is. So AI, here, this is one of the things I wanted to show you. AI in these products is not perfect. Now we can get to the answer, but I want us to do this. So let's go to users and let's try the manual way. So we have the field called detections. So what I can do is can say detections is greater than equal to 1. And we did find some glitches in the system. Let's add this. And so it comes up with 3 users that have detections. All right. So how many users have detections associated with them? According to this, it's only 3. But let's take a deeper look in this. Okay. So we can also say detections is not equal to 0. Interesting. So notice that didn't work. So detection says not equal to 1. I got to type this. So you notice that didn't fix it. So let's type detections is not equal to, and let's actually type a literal 0. Make sure we do that. Click save. Okay. So now we got a different answer. This is actually the correct answer, 8. So detections is not equal to 0. Make sure these are not duplicate counts. So that was the actual answer. So we came up with several methods, but let's try it again. Let's say detections is greater than 0, and let's click save there. Okay, now we get 8. We get the correct answer. So we did find some kind of glitches in some of these answers, the way we put them in. Like if you didn't type a certain thing, if you didn't erase it and retype it, it wouldn't act up. But that is the answer. So then you would go to this one and you simply would just put 8 right there. Okay, so next we're going to go to the next challenge, which is talking about Linux. And once again, this is just helping you to get used to the interfaces. A lot of these capture the flag exercises are set up to help you to be able to navigate through these type of things. How many devices are running Ubuntu Linux in the environment? And so the same way you use this tool, if you understand the logic I'm using to use this tool, then you can use CrowdStrike, Tenable, SentinelOne, Rapid7, any of these products you can use, because once you understand the functionality. So now it's asking me about devices, right? So I can go here, and once again, what am I looking for? Are running Ubuntu Linux. So what we had to do is we had to do a little bit of plan, but let's try the AI again. And I think you see how many devices are running Ubuntu Linux. This is what I put in. All right, it came back. It said 15 devices are running Ubuntu Linux. But let's do it let's use using the standard search. So I noticed that I was looking for operating system. I didn't see that. I typed it that way, didn't see that. So, okay, like what is it called? It's actually called software in this tool set. And I can say software, and I want to do equals to because it should give me a drop down list. And then I can type UBUN2, Ubuntu Linux. I can add the filter, and there it is. I have 15 devices, okay? So what did the AI assistant say? 15 devices. So you see the AI assistant was there. We just have to feed it the correct question, okay? So that's good. So for this one, you enter 15 devices here. You can see I did multiple attempts. Once again, sometimes I will test something just to see if it's correct, especially if it gives me 3 shots. I'll test 2 times just for the heck of it, just to make sure, because you want to make sure you're on the right track. Sometimes your first one might be correct, sometimes it won't. But if you don't do any kind of test and not really take a little risk here and there, you'll get frustrated and will continue to be intimidated by this. But what's the risk with these things? This risk is low. How many VLANs are discovered in the environment? So let's go. How many VLANs? So if I'm looking for VLANs, what is that under? Probably network. Okay, so I see I can expand this, and when I expand this, I get 4 VLANs. So that's going to be my answer here. It's going to be 4. So put 4, hit submit. Correct, but you already solved this problem. So I just want to show y'all that I'm not just, not just making this up. I think this was 15 for this one. Incorrect. What was our answer here? Let's go back to let's see, applications, devices. That query still there? Anyway, we'll come back to that. I'll make sure I put the rest of these so y'all can actually see that these are correct. So we didn't get into the detections here, okay? And once we get into the detections, that's going to, once again, you got to kind of like use your logic. I never used this tool before, but I say, hey, there's the detections tab. Okay, cool. So now it's asking me specifically, what is the file extension added to the encrypted files as part of a ransomware attack by Workstation Physician 01? So I'm going to copy this because I want you to see how I went about solving this. So now I'm in detections. Now, what can I do to filter this down? Okay. Well, one of the things I learned is there is the offender, and then there's the victim, the attacker, and the person or the individual or device that's attacked, right? So what I want to do is I want to filter down. I want to say the offender is, and let's double check my logic, of the ransomware attack by. So that's going to be the offender. And when I put that in, it's going to narrow it down to this workstation. So I save it. So now I've got the alerts. Now, what type of alert it was a ransomware attack or ransomware attack. So I can go here, and I'm just trying to teach you how to filter down your data set. Now we're down to 1 detection. So when I see here, I can then go to view details, and this is going to show me a little bit more about it. And then the answer, you notice I'm seeing right here, like here's my files, and look at there, BRRR. So the answer to this one is BRRR. A lot of tools will let you click on it and they'll give you a copy option. So this one doesn't, so I'm going to do a Control-C, paste it here. Let's see, what is the extension? I think I got to put the dot in front of it to be specific. There you go. So something to note, right? So little things like that can cause you to get incorrect answers in these CTFs. All right, HTTP user agent string. User agent string is like it's a identifier in each of our browsers, and sometimes not sometimes just your web browser, but other tools that browse the web that helps to identify what tool the user or the individual or the automated process is using when it's browsing. So you can see this in a lot of times in the network traffic. You can extract this, and this can help you to determine, like, if I'm on my computer and you're on your computer and we do an attack on something, even if we source it from the same IP address, typically if we're not using the exact same browser, stuff like that, the user agent strings will be different. And you can use that to kind of like identify if somebody's doing something malicious, because you can see what the user's normal user agent string is versus what the malicious actor's user agent string is like. And so that being the case, if we want to know what user agent string is present in the HTTP request associated with the Log4Shell JNDI injection attempt. So we got the type of attempt right here. So once again, we're going to use that filter. Let's go back to detection. And we want to, by the way, when you're using these tools, please use the breadcrumbs, like these little things right here. Use the in-app or in-website navigation, because sometimes if you're just using the back button, stuff like that, that's a very bad habit. The tool may not function the way you think it does because of that. So we know that this was the type of attack that we had before. How can we remove that? We can uncheck that, and now we can type this. Let's see if that actually works. So I don't like that. So let's get the full list here. So we're going to save this, break it back out. See, it kind of acted weird there. And I don't see, is my attack type there? No. So what about here? If I put it here, no. So I can easily find it. But the thing is, I'm filtered down to a specific machine. So that may be the user agent string is present in this attempt. So one of the things I do need to do is I need to clear that first. Okay. There's my Log4Shell JNDI, but I want to get to that. So detection type. So I noted that just from the menu, and there it is right there. There's the detection type. I'm going to save here. Now I've got it. Once again, I always go back to make sure my context is correct. Okay, so I'm looking for the user agent string that's present in the HTTP request. Clicking on the alert, I'm going to go to, let's see, do I have information here? I don't have anything about the HTTP request here. So I'm going to view the detection details, and I'm going to scroll down. And then here's the HTTP. See that record type HTTP. And then here's the user agent string right here. It's still highlighted somehow right here. So this is the, once again, let's see, what is the question asking me? What is the user agent string present in this HTTP request? So that's, oh, sorry, correction. Here's the user agent string right here, curl 81.0. And there's a comma. So I'm going to copy that right there. I'm going to go to my request here, going to paste the flag. And if I paste it correct, I got that one correct. Okay, so I didn't get a chance to do any of the PCAP type stuff. So because I did start the competition late. It started at like 8, and then I started like at 12:30 with that, and we was able to get a little team together. So I didn't get a chance to do a lot of these, but this is just what I got a chance to do. I had about 3 hours or so. I even went beyond the time of the competition because I wanted to like understand what the options were. So these are still available for me to actually click on and work because the data is still here. So let's pivot here. So threat hunting, FTP files. So let's take this one. So this one is interesting. So you see this is giving us a system like, and it's like, okay, this is encoded, right? I don't want to take the hint. So how am I going to do this? I'm going to go to gemini.google.com, and I'm going to do something real simple. I'm just going to say decode this. This is exactly what I did in the competition. All right. And this is the video. And here it is. What is the most accessed file over the FTP protocol? That is what it decoded to. If I go to CyberChef, I want to show you how we did this. And actually, one of our guys in the cybersecurity mentorship program, Scotty helped us to decode this because it's not straightforward. So first of all, we need to figure out what this is, right? So it's Unicode hexadecimal is what it's called. But first, what we had to do is had to do from hex first. And when we did from hex, there it is right there. What is the most accessed file over FTP protocol? So that's literally just do a from hex in CyberChef that decoded that. And so that was our question. Now that we have our question, we got to figure out what it is. So once again, context, the most accessed file over FTP protocol. So I'm thinking about this. Where do we go in the product to look at this? So we can figure out assets. But what I found is I think records turned out to be, well, let's look at assets. I don't think this is going to fit anywhere in the assets, right? So we went to records, and when I do records, I realized I could just hit here and just do a search. And when I did that search, and once again, this is just through trial and error, never been trained, never used this product before the competition. When I did that, I was like, oh, okay. Now you can notice that for the competition, they gave you a limited amount of data, which is nice. This makes it a lot easier, especially when you're beginning, because the data only goes from one time to another. They don't give you days. In the real world, you're going to have days, weeks, months, years of data. So you're going to have to be willing to adjust your timeline to narrow down your data set. Okay, so that's very important to be able to do that. But what am I looking for? I'm looking for the FTP protocol. So do I see it? Well, maybe my eyes don't find it the first time. So what do? Always recommend do a Control F, FTP, and there it is right there towards the bottom. So click on FTP. Now I've narrowed down my data set, but I'm looking for the most accessed file over the protocol. So now how do I find the most accessed file? So I can group by. Does it allow me to group by file? It doesn't. Interesting. So where's the file? So this is where I had to kind of look through the data. What field in this data would I see if there was a file? Oh, request file name. Okay, so that's one. So what if we group by request file name? Take that. So that's .dat. So I don't think that's, I can tell you this is not the correct answer. So I'm going to expand my results out. So it's not there. So once again, looking through the data now in the arguments section, look at this. Oh, okay. There's a readme.txt. Okay, so I see some files in the arguments.txt. So let's regroup this by arguments. And when I do that, and I'm looking for file names, this is a file name. And so there are other file names, but what is the most accessed file name? This is blank. These are not files. That's a file name. It's readme.txt. So I'm going to copy readme.txt, take this back to the challenge, drop that in there, and there's your correct answer. Okay. Moving on. Russian DNS queries. Okay. This was interesting. So the two query names associated with DNS queries for Russian-based sites are google.sync.ru target.ru and what else. So they gave you one, and this is to kind of help you to stay on track, right? This is to help you to kind of understand what they're looking for in the second answer. So that was a clue by itself, and this is worth 400 points. So okay, cool. So we're looking for the two DNS queries associated with a Russian base. Now I know Russian domains typically start with .ru. That's why they showed you the first one, to kind of like make that association. So I'm going to take my data. I'm going to go back here once I'm again in the network traffic, and then DNS queries is what I'm looking at. So we don't need CyberChef here, but let's go to our protocols and let's kind of take this, and we got record types that we can just filter out, and then we got DNS requests and DNS responses. Now, so the thing is, like, I don't know whether it's going to be in a DNS request or response. Well, let's get rid of FTP and let's add DNS request and response, and let's look through the data. So now we have all the DNS requests and response, and let's see, do we have a field that says domain or something like that? If it is a domain, where do this information show up in the request? Is it in the answers? Like, how do I know what it's talking about? Is it the query name? So this is where I had to do some research to kind of feel like, okay, where would I find that information? Well, it looks like, there are some domains right there. So it looks like this is in the query name section. Okay, so I can do that. So I can say query name, let's try it. And then I can use my operator. I'll say, and this is a what is it freaking, it's going to be in with. I'm looking for contains, right? So that's what I want to say, but how do I do it? It doesn't give me a contains field. So can I do equals *.ru? Can I use a wildcard there? Let's find out. That didn't work out too good. All right, so we got to figure out how to adjust this. If I want to do query name and I can't use the contains, I can say starts with, but that doesn't help me. So I need to figure out a way to do this. So let's close this for a second and let's kind of think for a second, like, how do I do this? So it looks like the query name field is going to be correct. So I know I can filter here, but I've got to find a way of saying query name. And what is this? Equals, this is equals, this is does not equal, this exists, does not exist, starts with. It doesn't give us an ends with. So that makes it a little harder. So I'm going to just say .ru here. Try that. Does that work? Wait, that actually worked. Okay. So, and once again, this is why I had to play with it. I just typed .ru, and so it gave me, like, it almost treated it like I'm saying *.ru, which means .ru, which means anything .ru. So let's say if I had a lot more data, what I want to then do is I want to group this by query name. Okay. So I'll just type a Q to sort it down to query name. And when I group it by query name, I get these two. So it's all about being able to quickly narrow down your data in these competition. So I'm going to paste this, and there's the correct answer. All right, so now we've got this far. So we got some points on the board and stuff like that. So let's go for TLS version. What is the oldest TLS version still observed within the environment? This one stumped me the first time. So I'm going to go back to the main menu. Let's look at the dashboard. So there's some sections over here that I didn't see immediately. So let's look here and let's see if I can find it. Where is that data right here? So I don't see anything about TLS and stuff like that here. Oh, but there is network section here. Okay. All right. That's cool. That looks promising. And then let's look on the right side. So still don't have anything. I got all the attack detections right there. And then if I look at the parameter, is there anything here talking about TLS? So I don't see anything there. So now let's go ahead. Let's pivot back. Once again, I'm going to go back to this record section, and then I'm going to reset. What is the oldest TLS version still observed in the environment? So I'm looking for TLS version. So if we go to records and I sort here, is there anything? Oh, there's TLS right here. TLS open, but I also have more. So if we do TLS, I got TLS alert, TLS open, close, heartbeat alert. Okay, cool. So now I've got this filter down to TLS. So, okay, cool. Now that I've got this information, how do I know about the version? Does it tell me somewhere in the data what the version is? Sometimes you may have to add additional columns and stuff like that. Oh, there it is. There's a version column. So what do I do now? I need to group the data. So I'm going to group by TLS version. Uh-oh, did I have an issue? Can I group by TLS version? I can't. Oh, because I said the column is wrong, the version. So there it is. So TLS version, once again, reset them. What is the oldest version still observed in the environment? So according to my data, TLS 1.0, I got 1.2, 1.3, I got other 1.1 SSL. It didn't ask about SSL, so I can eliminate that. But you can assume that 1.0 is older than 1.2 and 1.3 and 1.1. So I'm going to say TLS 1.0. And this is where it gets tricky. I want to show you this. We actually had the right answer from the beginning. When we put that in, it says correct now. But the thing is, maybe they corrected it because you had to put it in all in lowercase at first, like, because he made a mistake when he did the CTF. So he let us know, hey, this is correct, but you have to put it in the right way. But you could also put 1.0. That works too. But you can see if I put 1.02, that doesn't work. So there's two ways you can enter it. And so we put it in exactly with the proper case and everything, and it was wrong. So it looks like they've corrected that issue going into future CTFs. Now let's look at this Kerberos server errors. What is the top error type for Kerberos server traffic? So you see now I'm kind of getting locked in here. So I'm able to sort through this data and kind of navigate it. So I've got a lot of things that I'm filtered down. Let's take this back. And what if we type, well, we need to get rid of the TLS. Okay, so that's cleared. Kerberos key, there's Kerberos right there, request and response. Once again, if you're not familiar with it, you just need to filter some data. Like, is the data in the request? Is it in the response? I don't know. But you notice I don't have any field data here. So I'm going to get off of this page. Just going to reset it here. Go back to the records, just do a search. And then now that I got my data here, I'm going to take and go back to Kerberos, request, response. Okay, save. So now there we go. Now I got the Kerberos traffic. What am I looking for again? Got to reset. What is the top error type for Kerberos traffic, server traffic? So what is the top error type? So we're going to go here and I'm going to look through the data. Oh, so I got message types right here. Okay, so that looks promising. So based on what I'm seeing, the message type, the errors may be located in the message types. So now if I group by Kerberos, or actually the word is message type. Okay, now we're down. So what is the top error type? So let's reset. What is the top error type for Kerberos server traffic? So it said server traffic too. So that may be a factor. So if I look at this top error type, let's try this to see if this works. That's incorrect. Okay, so that is not what we're looking for. So let's go back. What did we miss? Let's take away our sort and we want the top error type. Okay, so let's look through this and let's go into more detail. What fields did we miss? What did we not see? Oh, there's a whole error section right here. Oh, so maybe we should just filter down and let's just sort by error. Oh, now we have information. And here's the most prevalent error in the data set. So let's try that. Kerberos error. Let's put this in. There's the correct answer. All right, and then finally, we got the Russian DNS query. So those are all the ones I solved. So I just wanted to share that with y'all so y'all can actually see a real cybersecurity tool. Now, I'd be looking at the open stuff that very few companies use. If you're looking to get a job in cybersecurity, most companies are going to be using this type of stuff. They're going to be using paid tools that cost thousands upon thousands of dollars, at least $2,000 to $3,000 just to get into these tools. And so this is what you need exposure to. And there are ways to do that through joining capture the flag exercises and webcasts, webinars. Sometimes they do free community training. These are all the things that you've got to do to level yourself up in cyber and make yourself valuable to companies. Y'all are starting to recognize that a lot of these cyber boot camps and a lot of these college programs that you spent so much money, and I'm so sorry that y'all are spending this kind of money on these programs and still not getting jobs. But I'm showing you the truth on my channel. So I hope that now that the cat's out of the bag and people are starting to realize that there was a lot of false stuff spread about cybersecurity and about the amount of jobs, that you can come to my channel and I can show you what's really happening in the industry. So please, if that is something that's important to you, please like the video and please subscribe to the channel. And peace, and I will see you be back on the Tenable series. So come for that. If you want to learn vulnerability management, Tenable is where you want to be. Thanks for watching.